good? Back with another draft analysis. First thing I'd like to say, hope y'all enjoyed the little intro video. If I'm not mistaken, it was the Outback is back, which I'm pretty sure this is Jetman. Um, he made the wait, yeah, he made the video, and then but someone else made the designs, and then the background that we're using is something that he whipped up for me, which is very nice. I actually really like the designs. I was like, do something earthy since the mascot of the uh, league, the LDL, is Cubone. So we got the nice little background on the back. And yeah, let's start off with this. First of all, I like to say I drafted probably one of the worst teams known to mankind. We actually made a couple of drops. Some of the ones that I had on the team were Smeargle, Orthworm, Azumarill, Excadrill, Salamence, and we dropped all of those to pick up new mons. And I'll let you guys know what mons that we dropped. In this league, there's actually no Terra bans, and anything under the minimum point of 10 points below can Terra, and then you are allowed to select one mon to be a Stellar Captain that can do still a Terra type. So yeah. We had the second overall pick, and the first pick before me was, I think it was Latias or Latios. It was the blue one. It was one of those. I get it mixed up sometimes. So, with our first pick, we got Chiampao. Now, I've never really ever gotten to use this mon ever before in a draft league. So I'm happy I was able to get it, and most of the times this mon is banned, so I'm really surprised to see this mon not banned. This mon cost me 18 points. But overall, a really good physical, fast ice type that honestly takes out a lot of the strong dragon types and can mess up a lot of the good ghost types that are in this gen, like Goldingo. But most likely, if that's even a thing, they're running Colbur Berry, and I'm getting pieced up by coins. Like I said, this thing has a base 120. Let me go to this. This thing has a base 120 attack, base 135 speed. Gets things like Crunch, Ice Spinner, gets Sacred Sword, Sucker Punch. It gets Taunt, so you can do Taunt, Swords Dance, and just go crazy. I didn't know it got Recover, which is kind of wild. But it gets Haze. It gets a couple of good things. Can really help. The Mon itself is overall pretty good. This is the reason why this thing is placed in Ubers. This thing is broken. Now, I actually did draft this Mon because I don't know how I got it. This was like late, I would say late round 6 or 7. It was still on the board, and I'm like, dude, you want to know what? I'm going to drop Drill. I'm going to drop Salamence. We'll rebuild the team around this. Let's get Garchomp. Now, I've used Garchomp in another league, but the team that it was put on really wasn't built around for Garchomp or just the Garchomp to really even put in some work or let alone help put in work. But Garchomp, you already know what this mon can do. It gets spikes. It gets stealth rocks. You can just put like a dragon tail on it. Rough skin Rocky helmet sets are really nice. It's a really good bolt. Gives me a really good switch into something like a Raging Bolt or whatever. Yeah, we might be able to take. We can just pop a Bomb Berry on and then click a Dragon move or click a Ground move and get the KO and stuff like that. I do want to say this though. Shout out to Dashing Sceptile. I know I forgot to say at the beginning, but shout out to Dashing Sceptile for helping me actually rebuild the team. He's the one who helped me come up with some ideas. We were bouncing ideas off each other, and this is what we came up with. So yeah, I do want to say shout out to him for helping me recreate the team because, yeah, this is probably like the worst draft. This is the worst draft I've ever done. Like, I've never had to. I literally used every single grace period transaction for this. So yeah, but yeah, Garchomp, really good mon. If I really wanted to, I could bring Special Chomp, and it could be fun. We could even bring Swords Dance, Cal Shot, Loaded Dice. This mon is gonna put in some work. Now, this is the mon we actually picked up, which, in my opinion, we dropped for. Oops, we dropped for Azumarill, and that is, I don't know how this thing went undrafted, but Enamorus. Now, I've drafted Enamorus before, and I'm not even kidding when I say this. I'm pretty sure I had Enamorus Garchomp on a team before, but I think I dropped Enam, and I don't know why. This mod is really good. This thing it actually gets agility. Agility Calm Mind, Draining Kiss to get back HP, Grass Knot to kind of throw off, maybe catch some of those bulky waters off. Mystical Fire is really good, and a lot of fairy types do not have any fire coverage. So like Enamorus is launching off like a Specs Mystical Fire into things could really just do some damage. This thing gets access to Weather Ball, Taunt, Sludge Bomb, Psychic. This thing gets Outrage, Moonblast, Iron Defense. Overall, this model gets a lot of really good move pool, and setup wise, really good too. Really good coverage. Really helps out with those dragon types because it has base 106 speed and 135 special attack, and 115 attack, which is kind of crazy for something like an Amorous as a fairy flying. So yeah, this is a mon for the next mon. God, my bad, guys. I'm tweaking a little bit. Next mon, I actually did draft this mon. It is Pecharunt. Now, with things like Chien-Pao on the team, and Chomp, two things hit our mons hard, and that is fairy types. This is where Pecharunt comes in. Pecharunt is just such a good bulky mon. You can run it to be physical, more special if you want to, but the ability Poison Puppeteer and having a move that has a 50% chance to poison is just so broken. If the Pokemon poison the target, it will confuse the enemy. Overall, really good mon. Malignant Chain, Hex is nasty plot, sub nasty plot. It gets Parting Shot, so you can Parting Shot out on things. It gets Recover. Toxic. I know you can actually, depending on the matchup, you could really go weakness policy set with this thing. 88 speed really is not that bad as a speed tier. I know it's kind of mid-ground speed tier, but weakness policy isn't bad. And I mean, you have a move that can miss. You could go Gunk Shot, Blunder policy, or some shit like that. Who knows, it's... And I'm just messing with you guys. I would never run a set like that. Physical, Pecharunt, not good. But no. Just the mon we needed, those fighting types that immune to fighting types. Pecharunt's just overall a really good mon for this team. Now, for the next mon on this team, is actually a mon we also picked up that was kind of a replacement for Azumarill, and that is Quaquaval. Quaquaval role on this team is just to spin, mainly. This mon, overall, broken as a Pokemon. It really can just clean up games, like not even like on purposely, just accidentally, just because it has a move called Aqua Step. A base 80 water move that 100% raises your speed. And you get a Moxie boost when you kill Pokemon. And this thing has a base 120 attack. It really just starts to put in work. And Rapid Spin being a thing where now you get +1 speed, it just kind of just makes this mon really, really annoying to deal with. Letting off like +1, +2 close combats into things isn't really feel good. This thing gets knockoff, Ice Spinner. It gets Swords Dance, gets Taunt, gets Triple Axle, which is a good U-turn. So it gets Flip Turn and U-turn. Overall, Gamon also gets Roost. Quackable is just a really good mon here for this team. Spinning away the rocks, like me and Dashing Sets talked about for Pow and Amorous, and some of the other mons that also get pretty affected by rocks and spikes. Alright, for our next mon that we actually also picked up. The Dunsparce. This mon. Wait, the Dunsparce is also our first Terra Cap and is also our Stellar Terra Cap that I've decided. Overall, out of all the mons, I thought Stellar would be good on this. Just launching off a Stellar Boom Burst and then off of a +1 attack is just kind of, can be kind of crazy off of some Calm Minds. And this thing does get Stealth Rock, so it's another Rock Setter. Number one, it gets Calm Mind, things like Calm Mind. It gets, what's it called? Jeez, I'm blanking really hard. It gets Roost. Boom Burst. This mon overall is just a really, really, really good tanky mon, especially with a fairy typing. This mon can just go in like crazy. This is one mon I'm actually really excited to use because I've actually been on the other ends. It also gets Toxic. I totally forgot this thing gets Toxic. Another really good mon that can just Toxic things and just kind of break down some of their heavy hitters and just kind of chip down away with Toxic and Boom Burst, just letting off some powerful Boom Burst. At +1, this thing can really just do damage. Base 125 attack, HP, 100 attack, 85 special attack. Mon overall, it's just a demon. Now, this is another mon we ended up picking up after dropping some of the other mons on the team. And that is Tinkaton. Now, I've actually used Tinkaton before. You guys have seen me use Tinkaton before. I actually like this mon. It's another fairy type, but it gives me a good poison immunity, which I felt like on this team, I didn't really have a good poison immunity. And fairy being only an Amorous being my only fairy. Petulant really doesn't always want to be that fairy switch in. Just because its special defense really isn't that high, and it's still overall just taking Specs Moonblast and stuff like that from mons like, I don't even know what are some of the strong fairies on this, like taking Moonblast and stuff like that. Oh wait, no, Iron Valiant. Wait, so Iron Valiant is banned, but Chien-Pao isn't. No, Iron Valiant isn't. But taking like Specs Moonblast from Iron Valiant, or just like, really just Specs Moonblast from Valiant and stuff like that. It still does a nice price. Does a nice like 20 to 30% depending on my set, especially if I'm not even invested in special defense. So I think overall the Tinkaton is just a really good pickup here. Again, another rock setter, really good for knockoff to get off moves. Things like it gets Ice Hammer, it actually does get Stone Edge. It gets things like Thunder Wave too, so we can even get a Petrifront to get off Thunder Waves and stuff like that. The next mon that we actually did draft, and we did not drop, is Rotom-Mow. I needed a grass type, and I really wanted something that also kind of helped out with the huge ground weakness I felt like I had with the team at the point. And Rotom Heat actually did get sniped for me at first, because Rotom Heat was my first option as a fire type on this team. Because it's a mon. I mean, yeah, Mold Breaker mons kind of just say fuck you and just still hit it with Earthquake. But now looking at it, if I do fits up against a Mold Breaker mon, even getting hurt with an Earthquake on something like his Rotom-Mow isn't going to do much, because I'm still pretty sure Rotom-Mow still gets Will-O-Wisp, so then it's able to burn the mons. It's only neutral now and stuff like that from Earthquakes. Things like Nasty Plot, hitting things with Leaf Storm, Discharge getting off pairs, which is annoying. We could even do Discharge Hex, Discharge Willow Hex. Like, This thing gets Nasty Plot. You can do stored power. I did not know this thing got stored power, by the way. Yeah, this Mon overall, I feel like is going to be really good for the team. Gets things like Volt Switch tricks, Thunder Wave. Really good Pokemon. Very good strong electric. Gives us that good ground immunity that we needed, in my opinion. Even though the team still has some ground weaknesses, it kind of helps out against those bulky ground types because most of them don't have much special defense anyways. Now for our last Pokemon that we ended up picking up, Typhlosion. We needed a fire type. Typhlosion is here. Things like Chien-Pao don't really want to take fire types. So most of the time Garchomp will be our fire type switch in, or even Quackable. But in those scenarios where we're playing against something such as like Heatran for say like Flash Fire could actually come really in handy. This thing I'm pretty sure does get Earth Power, and it gets Earthquake. I don't know if it gets any ways to boost its physical stat. I'm not 100% sure if it gets any boosting moves in general, actually. I don't think it does. It gets Curse, that's really it, but why would you want to run Curse on this thing? Overall, things just like Choice Scarf, Choice Specs, Eruptions are really nice. This Mon really can just put out damage output. We needed some more speed on the team, so 100 base speed is kind of there. So yeah. Overall, from what we did draft at first, the team looks 10 times better. I'm really excited for this draft league to start. I am going to be in 4 draft leagues though, so I'm kind of curious on how I'm going to be able to balance this all, but we should be able to make it work. Currently in the process in another league of drafting. So draft analysis for that video should be out soon. Other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed and are ready for the season. I sure am. Using some new mons like Chien-Pao, Garchomp, Petrarun, Quackable. I've always wanted to use Typhlosion. Rotom's always a fun mon to use in draft. Unless you're not if you're not able to use the grass, water, or fire, I feel like it's honestly just not even a good point. Because Rotom Fan really isn't that good, and neither is Rotom Frost. And by the way, Rotom, Typhlosion, Tinkaton, and the Dunsparce can all Terra. I forgot to clarify that they can all actually Terra. So we can use Terra Rotom, we can use Terra Tinkaton, we can use Terra Typhlosion. There could be a match where we bring Scarf Terra Typhlosion, Terra Fire, or Eruption, and just start fucking launching off things. You know, like we could really just do that shit, and I think it's gonna be a really fun team to use. Having Mondo's team like Typhlosion and things like Quackable and things like Enamorus to really break down the team for not only Chien-Pao but for Garchomp. Garchomp being able to kind of hazard stack here with spikes and rocks, basically in almost any matchup, kind of getting up something free and then getting off massive damage is huge. Petrarun, really good way to spin block. Quackable to get rid of those rocks, and also makes it so we don't always have to run boots on our Chien-Pao. We can run maybe like a resistant berry, or even possibly something even as an expert belt or even life orb. So, or even choice band. Options are endless. I'm excited for this season. Excited to use these mons. This team looks really fun. Team looks really fun to use. So, I'll see y'all for week 1. Peace.